motor, J motor, J motor, J motor, recognize Heckler house, Heckler house. Oh, 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 oh.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, this week wasn't, anything seriously major going on. I mean, you had some reports of the way China is treating their citizens, but that's been going on for quite a while. But there's a lot of protesting erupting now. They're tired of their communist government, and they want it to stop because they're literally like putting people in like their apartments, quarantine them, and then welding the apartment shut to where the people can't get out. And there was a fire that broke out in one of them and killed 10 people, and they did nothing. They let them burn. Then you see the videos of all the, the concentration camps that they're building for people and shit. It's getting crazy over there in China. They're a terrorist party. They're all about, hey, you do what we tell you, we're going to shoot you in the head. And unfortunately, there is a lot of loony leftists over here who want that shit over here. And that's just insane. They want the government to take control of your lives and take away your rights. It's just retardedness. This world is getting crazy with that nonsense. Anyways, I saw the reports in China. The other thing that I saw that was, it was more laughable than anything. That crazy batshit Alyssa Milano. Now, I thought she was a hottie and everything back in the 80s when she did Who's the Boss and all that kind of shit, but she's gone full-on mental retarded. She got into it with Elon Musk, she loved him, blah, blah, blah. But now all of a sudden that he's all about freedom of speech, she can't stand him. She said she was going to trade back her Tesla, and she did, and then she went and got a VW, which literally was designed and made for Adolf Hitler. He's the one who, helped create the VW. It's just crazy, because she was complaining that Elon Musk is a white supremacist and shit because he wants freedom of speech. Oh my God. So she goes and buys a VW, which is was controlled and manufactured by the Nazi Socialist Party, by Adolf Hitler. He created that shit. But anyway, whatever. Just dumb. Just retarded shit. Moving on. Thing I want to talk to you about this week is I just got done watching the TV show called Scorpion. It was like in, I think it was 2013. I forgot to look up the date. But anyways, it's not a bad show. There were some issues with a few people because the science wasn't perfect. Like, some of the shit they did on the show, it's not possible. Well, duh. That's with every show, some of the reviews I saw on it about, the science didn't match and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the fuck? Y'all don't complain when, fucking Star Trek or Star Wars or something does that shit, but you're going to complain when this show does it? It made no sense. some of the reviews I saw on it was kind of dumb. For the most part, people liked the show. You have, you know, like 5 or 6 main characters. You have a guy called Walter O'Brien, which the show is kind of half-assed based on. Walter O'Brien is a real person. He does have a high IQ. However, that's about as far as the truth and all that shit goes. Well, he did start a company called Scorpion too. But that's as far as, you know, the show is truth based off of. You know, that's it. You know, as far as the rest of the crew, it's on the show, that's not part of the real life. Now in the show you have Walter O'Brien, who's kind of taking in 3 you know, geniuses or high IQ people. You got a human calculator named Sylvester, and then you have a mechanical prodigy called Happy Quinn, and then of course you have one of the world's best expert psychologists called Toby. And then you have a Homeland Security agent, Agent Caleb Gow, which, you know, he knows Walter from previous when he was a kid. Supposedly on the show, as a kid, he got busted for breaking into NASA. He was trying to check something out, and he got busted for it. And then by helping Agent Gallo, he was able to redeem himself or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. But there's kind of a... When the show first starts, there's kind of a friction between them two. And then last but not least, you have Paige, which was a waitress at a restaurant who has a child named Ralph, who has a genius IQ too. Probably higher than Walter's, they think. But she joins the group to kind of keep them together because they're not real good socializing with people, supposedly. So that's where she comes in. She socializes for them with companies and stuff so they can get jobs. There's a romantic interest between Paige and Walter, and they drag it out for like 3 seasons before they finally get together, which is kind of ridiculous. But they eventually do get together towards the end of the show. Now Happy and Toby, they get together, they get married, blah blah blah. You know, that they kind of stretched that out a little bit, but you already saw that coming. You know, they kind of get together somewhere around season 2 or so. They brung in one guy to try to be Walter's friend for a little bit, which I didn't care for the character at all. You know, he pops in 2 or 3 times after that second season or whatever, and then he's gone. And it's like I said, I didn't care for that character anyway. I'm glad they got rid of him. They kind of bring in kind of a love interest at one point in time for Ralph, this girl or whatever, but she's not interested in him. Yada yada, you know, she's self-centered and she's more interested in, you know, the big jock type, blah blah blah, which is normal. That's usually the way it goes. You know, the good-looking smart guy never gets the girl. It's always the dumbass, beefed up jock who treats him like crap. So that's understandable. Always happens. Let's see, the other thing, they do bring in one character towards the last season. Her name's like Florence, but they all call her Flo. And she it's kind of messed up because they bring her in the show to kind of like screw up Paige and Walter's relationship, even though they're really not romantically connected till towards the end of the last of the season, which is weird. And then they just leave the show off, and everybody's like, what the fuck? You should have had a season 5 and fixed everything, but they didn't. They left it off that way where everybody's pissed off at each other, and Scorpion breaks up. It's that last I didn't like the last season at all. It kind of pissed me off the way they did it. The one major factor I did not like about the show is that Alex Kurtzman had something to do with it. Now, he didn't make the show, he didn't create it. He was like an executive producer or some shit like that. I don't remember. But his name is tagged to the show, and I can't stand Kurtzman at all. He's a phony and a joke. He can't fucking do shit. He just puts his name on everything. He's a retard. Anyways, for the most part, the show's really good. The first 3 seasons are really good. Naturally, science ain't gonna be perfect on everything. It's a TV show. It's not real. But the comedy it's funny. It's hilarious. Now, the one that plays Paige, Catherine McPhee, I think her name is. Don't quote me on that. I didn't write it down. But apparently she used to be on American Idol. She did a run on American Idol. She's a singer as well. She's a decent looking broad, but at the same time, when you see her husband, you're like, oh my God. Her husband's like 80 years old. I mean, she married him for the money because he's like a billionaire. I'm just like, oh, get the fuck out of here. I can't stand women like that. But anyways, other than that, the show's pretty good. Like I said, the first 3 seasons, really good. Really, really good. But that last season, they screwed it all up, and it pissed me off. I didn't like it at all. They tried to get a new handler in there and everything else. They kept swapping out the FBI, who was asking them to do government contracts. It was just getting crazy there at the very end. But otherwise, it was a funny show. It's fucking hilarious. I really liked the show. I mean, it kept me wanting to watch more and more and more. And I don't find many shows, after 2000 that makes me want to do that, where I want to binge watch them. But this one was pretty good. Except for that last season. Like I said, it was okay, but I really didn't care for the last season. The way the direction they went with it. It sucked. So other than that, definitely check out Scorpion. It's a really decent show. It's pretty good. It sucks that the way they ended it. I wish they'd come back and do it right. But whatever. 2 thumbs up. Check it out. Okay, let's get on to your B movie reviews. So what's up, Movieaholics? We got a couple for you that you may or may not like. I'm not really sure. This is Horror Week. Now, the two I got for you, back in the, late 80s, early 90s, we had a movie called The Abyss, where it was an underwater movie about aliens living underwater. And then all of a sudden, there was this slew of underwater, oceanic based type movies, where it was done underwater. And there were several of them that were horror flicks. The first one we're going to go through, I figure I'd do a couple of them, the more popular ones or well-known ones. The first one I'm going to go over with you is called Leviathan. Now, this was done in 1989, and it did fairly well. It made about 15 mil at the box office, so it didn't do too bad. It stars Peter Weller and Amanda Pays. Now, I know I'd seen this when it first came out, but it's been so long, I barely remember anything about it. When I started watching it, I was all like, okay, these are basically underwater creature features. This is a creature feature, right? And not quite. Close, but not quite. The story is you have this underwater, oceanic mining facility, and they're down there mining silver, and I can't remember what the other one. It was silver and something that they were mining. Two different types of ores. They got to stay down there for an extensive period of time. Then they come up and they get paid. Now, Peter Weller plays this geologist. And even though he's not a commander or Navy leader or some shit, he was given command of this place. Of course, you have a doctor and a few other miners in there. It's pretty much an all-star cast. I mean, Ernie Hudson's in this. Meg, what is her name? I can't think of her name. Meg something. She plays the head of the corporation or whatever he keeps talking to on the TV monitor. But anyways, you have several fairly well-known actors in this. Basically, the story is they go and they have an accident while they're out in these suits, these heavy oceanic pressured water suits that look like space suits, but they kind of have an accident with one of the guys called Six Pack. He's the guy from Home Alone 2 as the tall bandit. That's him. I can't think of his name, but he gets kind of in trouble, and they go after her. One of the women that's in the suit out there with them, she goes after him, and they go into this Russian boat that's been sunk. And the boat's name is Leviathan. And they find this big old box of crap that he brings out, and she helps him out after finding him. And they bring it aboard the mining station. And they're going through the junk, and they find this bottle of vodka, which, Henry Weller, Peter Weller, he grabs and takes and gets rid of, so they can't have any. They're not supposed to. But the guy called Six Pack finds a canteen, a metal canteen, and with some vodka in it, and stuffs it in his back pocket. Well, him and another crewmate, this woman, they drink from the vodka. And apparently the Russians were trying some genetic experimentation on their crew because they all died. They found a tape that says that they all died by the doctor, Russian doctor. Their doctor's trying to figure out what's going on because all of a sudden these two crewmen, are mutating and they've died and they melded together and they try to get rid of the body and that doesn't work. Part of it escapes and gets back on the ship or the mining facility, and one by one they start getting killed off, including the doctor. The only three that make it towards the end is Ernie Hudson, Peter Weller, and Amanda Pays. They can't escape normally. Something happens to where they can't get out through escape pods or whatever. Meg, I want to say Meg Ryan, but that's not her name. It's Meg something. Anyway, the woman that's head of the corporation, she tells them there's a hurricane above, they can't get out, and they're like, fuck you, blah blah blah. They decide to get out anyway. She's already made it to where they've all died. Reports on the news and shit, they figure that out. But those three do escape, and when they do it through their suits. They pressurized suits. They get it to where they can decompress as they're going up with these like parachute like things that float them up to the top of the surface. But anyways, while they're doing this, they get attacked by the creature, which is mutated into this big giant merman looking creature. But they get up to the top. It follows them up there, and then with some help of Ernie Hudson, they kill the creature, blow it up. Peter Weller throws a bomb at it and makes it eat it, and it blows up. Blah blah blah. So all he wants to survive is Peter Weller and Amanda Pays. And then at the very end, he knocks out what's her name, head of the corporation, and that's the end of the movie. They survive. Those two survive. Like I said, it's kind of a creature feature, but it has to deal more with genetic mutation. It was an okay movie for what it was. I didn't think it was all that great. They tried to make it look like an alien type movie, both these movies that I'm talking about, both of them tried to do that, make it look all spacey and shit. And you had that TV show called Sequest at the time, which I did not like. It's not the same thing. There's no such thing as space in the water. It just don't work that way. I'm sorry. It don't come off that way to me at all. That's why I never could get into Sequest. I didn't like the show at all. It was boring. Anyways, they tried to do that with both these. They made the mining facility look all like you're on a space station or some shit. It just didn't work. But other than that, the show was alright. It wasn't bad. I say you at least got to give it a one-time watch. A thumbs up, thumbs down. The acting was great, but the story was kind of lame. It reminded me of The Thing, the movie The Thing, the way they meshed the people together to form this one big monster. And it's not the first time they've done something like that with some type of genetic mutation movie. But otherwise, it's okay. It's worth a one-time watch. Like I said, you had some pretty good actors in this. So, alright, moving on to the next one. The next one is called Deepstar Six. Now, this was more of like, a more cheesy B-rated type of underwater oceanic movie. Now, in this one, the story goes that they're trying to I don't know, something to do with a missile thing. They're doing something with missiles or whatever for the government. Underwater, a missile facility or some shit. Anyways, they find this cavern. They know they're not supposed to do anything if they find a cavern. But the guy in charge of the project, he wants to blow up the cavern and ignore that it was even there. Now, the main stars in this is Greg Evigan and Nancy Everhard. It was done in 1989 and it made about $8 million. So, like I said, it was kind of like a cheesy B-rated movie. Now the actors in it were okay. They were decent. They're B-rated actors, most of them. You also had Nia Peoples in this, and a couple others you'll probably recognize. Like I said, they're trying to do something for the government pertaining to missiles or some shit. But when they go and blow shit up, it releases some type of prehistoric dinosaur monster, underwater monster that been living in that cavern. Huge cavern or whatever. They lose 2 guys right off the bat when they do this. And then they nearly lose a couple more people, but they sent a rescue out to get to this, I don't know, it was like a remote station kind of next to the main station. But when they get there, the only one they find that's alive is, you know, the main guy's girlfriend or whatever. So they get her out. The guy she was with died. And then as they're getting her out, the black guy, the captain or whatever, he dies too. Quite horrifically. Like a doors, one of them steel doors shuts on him, kills him. Not right off the bat, he has to drown himself. That's messed up. But anyways, they get out in this tiny little sub. They get out and go back to the main facility. And then the bald-headed guy, he's kind of a retard. He literally blows up the remaining missiles or whatever, because supposedly that's what he's supposed to do. But it creates a nuclear blast, and it screws everything up in the facility. They can't get out now. The air pressure's all screwed up. They gotta fix it. And when they go to start trying to fix that, this is before they know the creature's out, even though it's out. And they know something's in the water. They don't know what it is. They go outside the facility to try to fix it anyway. And then when the guy comes in that goes to fix it, he brings the creature in with them through the hatch or whatever. And it chops him in half and gets inside the facility. Now, they all run back to there's like 4 or 5 of them. They run back to the main area. They got to go back down there because they got to fix the air so they can decompress before they go topside, or they'll die. So they got to go back down there. They lose another one. They get back up. And there's what? Why is it in all these horror flicks that has a group of people trying to survive something, there's always one loon, one crazy bastard who fucks everything up? Well, they got one of those in this one too. And he keeps screwing everything up, and he goes nuts, and he's going to kill everybody because he's doing stupid shit. You just want to kill him or knock him out or whatever until things are done. Anyways, he takes off an escape hatch, kills himself because he doesn't decompressorize. And then fucking, you have 3 of them left. You have the girlfriend, the guy who got her pregnant. Oh yeah, she's pregnant. And he gets her pregnant. And then the doctor, who's a woman too. Well, she sacrifices herself so the boyfriend and girlfriend can get the fuck out. They get out, they go to the surface, and the monster falls in there, and then the boyfriend, he fucking shoots the water with some fucking flame gun or whatever, by dumping the sub's fuel out onto the creature in the ocean, and blows the sub up with the creature on it and kills it. And they go off paddling in this rubber flotation boat device or whatever at the very end of the movie. It's just them two out in the middle of the ocean. There's no land in sight anywhere, and they're just paddling away, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. This one was a creature feature, though. I have to give them that. This was more of a creature feature. It was okay for what it was. It was kind of, like I said, it was maybe worth a one-time watch. Mia Peoples is pretty good looking in this, but she's a hardcore feminist. And it was funny because when I was looking up her bio or whatever, it was saying that she's been divorced like 4 or 5 fucking times. She wrote her own bio for IMDb, and I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. She didn't want somebody else doing it. That's a control freak in half. She's a hardcore feminist. And apparently she can't get along with men because she's been divorced 4 fucking times. Now, she was good looking back in the day, but man, I couldn't put up with someone like that. But whatever. Anyways, like I said, worth a one-time watch. All the actors were decent. They were like TV stars. That's what this reminded me of. It was like a TV movie. It was worth a one-time watch, as I said. I give it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Check it out if you want, if you're really into that ocean crap. I'm not really an ocean guy. I just watch these because I remember them, and they were a long time ago, and I know I seen them once. I didn't remember anything about it, so I figured I'd watch them again for this week's horror week. Anyways, that's all I have for you. If you have any thoughts about what I talked about earlier in the video, please leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. If you can think of any underrated films or, you know, cheesy B movies, you know, you think I may never have heard of, please leave your suggestions down in the comment section down below. Any genre except drama, westerns, that kind of musicals. No. But, you know, just the drama type of genres I do. Anyways, like I said, that's all I have for you this week. Until next time, I told you to be told the truth, and you just been told.